friends, welcome to the game 19 of the World Championship match, also called as a match of the century between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. Fischer already leading by 3 points, that is 10.5 to 7.5. So even 4 draws continuously will give the championship to Bobby Fischer. Now it is up to Spassky to fight for a win. Now let us go to the game straight. E4, knight f6. This is alkaline defense. Fischer has not played before. He is giving surprise to everybody, including Spassky. E5, knight d5. d4, d6, knight f3, not pawn into pawn, knight into pawn, knight d7, interesting sacrifice, knight into pawn, king into knight, queen h5 check. Since this knight is hanging, king has to come here. Bishop h6 and black loses immediately after 0-0, and then rook to e1. King get mated very shortly. So let us go back to the original game. Knight f3, bishop g4. After knight f3, bishop g4 is played. Bishop e2, e6, 0-0, bishop e7, h3 to drive away the bishop. Bishop goes back, c4, driving away the knight. Knight b3, knight c3, 0-0. During the second of this championship, Fischer is Spassky is playing much better than Fischer, but since Fischer is leading by 3 points, he is not taking any risk or doesn't like to play some crazy moves. So when the game gets drawn, he gets half a point. That is coming closer and closer to the championship. Bishop e3, d5, c5, bishop into f3. Normally bishop is more powerful than knight, but this knight is more powerful than the bishop because it is covering all the important black squares. If white tries in between some moves, instead of playing bishop into bishop, pawn into knight, bishop into bishop, pawn into c7, bishop into queen, pawn into queen, rook into queen, rook into bishop. Position is dead equal. So let us go back. So bishop into f3, bishop into f3 is played. Knight c4. This knight doesn't have any good squares. Only a square it can go is here, and it blocks the queen. So knight c4 is played. Bishop b3, knight into e3. Fischer never likes to go back. F into e3. What gets doubled upon, but he can easily push this pawn and get rid of the doubled pawns. The advantage is getting a semi-open file. b6, e4. e4 is a fine move because this bishop has an attack. This knight has no better square. So Fischer played e6. Then Spassky played b4. b into c5 is played. b into c5. Queen a5. Queen a5 is a good move. Knight into d5. Knight into d5 is an excellent move. We will see why. If c into d5, supposing if Fischer cuts with another pawn, we will see what happens. E into d5. Now this pawn cannot be defended. If Fischer tries to defend this pawn with queen c7, this move loses a piece. So the knight cannot be. So Fischer realizes his mistake and he played c into d5. Bishop into f7 check. Rook into f7. Rook into f7. Queen d2. Queen into d2. Bishop into d2. Rook a f1. Knight c6. E into d5. E into d5. Rook d7. Bishop e3 check. King h1. Bishop into d4. e6. Bishop e5. rook into d5, rook e8, rook e1, rook into e6, rook d6, king f7. If rook into rook is played, rook into bishop. Therefore Fischer played king g7. Rook into c6, rook into c6, rook into king f6, rook d5, king e6. Fischer's king is more active. Rook h5, h6, king h2, rook a6, white is slightly better, but Fischer knows how to draw this game. One pawn leading is not a great advantage. c6, rook into c6, rook a6, a6, king g3, king f6, king f3, rook c3 check, king f2, rook c2 check, draw agreed. There is no chance for anybody to win because both of them are having 3 pawns and 1 rook. At the end of this game, Fischer is leading 11 to 8. If you like this video, like, share and subscribe so that you can see all the games of this championship and many more fantastic games of Bobby Fischer. Thanks for your time.